known to most of them now. But this is something that I have introduced to technical analysis. Now, the second type of training that we do is intraday trading. So there are lots of people who who don't want to invest money into the stock market, but want to still extract money out of the stock market. And that art, after about 8-10 years of hard work, we were able to succeed in doing intraday trading and consistently making profits. So we introduced this intraday trading workshops only about 1.5 years back. That is the second kind of trade. The third is the future and options, which is a complement to the first training. Only if you do the first training, then you are allowed to attend the future and options. It is like 10th is your technical analysis and 12th is your future and options. The second one is when we talk to people, people say, I don't have time to basically do all this analysis, and they feel it is difficult. And because they feel it difficult, that there comes a chance of consultancy. They will, Acha, I'll give you ready-made food. And that is where the consultancy part plays. And the third, of course, is the software. The software is something that one needs to do your analysis. So these are 3 models, and we run all these seminars all through the country except for the eastern part of India, where we have face difficulties, and the southern part of India. We'll discuss that, what were the difficulties later on.
Yeah, I think the confidence that comes across with the system that you follow, I think when we spoke earlier, we understood that you do this live, right? That means you put it up on the screen live, and then you help the people to put in a prediction in terms of buying or selling at a certain price, which takes an enormous amount of confidence to be able to do that, right? Because just the same way as your prediction can go right, it can also go wrong, isn't it?
Yes.
So, little bit tell us about that.
Yeah. Now, the intraday trading that we do, we are the only company, and it gives me immense pleasure and pride to tell you that we are the only company in the world to train during live market hours. Means me or my faculty members, they stand up during market hours. The program starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. The market starts at 9:15. A little bit of brief is given about what candlestick are, and the basic knowledge is given. And at around 10:15, the charts are open in front, and the trainer then tells, yeah, this is the time that you should purchase and why you should purchase. The reasons are given. And in 10-15 minutes, the stock starts moving up. And then it's the audience choice to exit or not, and people make money. And this is something unique that we have in our company. So
what do you do when the stocks go down?
There's always a stop loss for that. But out of 10 training sessions that we do, 9 are profitable, 1 is loss making. But then we keep doing this again and again. So let's assume today was a training session and we made a loss. And the most important thing is this training is free of cost. We don't charge a rupee to anyone. So you all can come again and again and again and test whether we are right 10 times, and then you can decide whether you want this software or not. So that is how it is.
So I think having come up with a pretty unique product and a way to take it, right? I think it would be good for the folks out there to understand how is it that you really market your products and services? How do you really make sure that you can get out? And you've touched about 2 odd lakh people in terms of doing the basic free training. You easily had about 10,000 plus people who did the advanced training. You easily have right now about 1,800 copies of your software around. Now that's quite an impressive number. How do you really market your organization?
Basically, marketing is something that we really don't do. It's only through mouth publicity, word of mouth, that we have reached all over this place. Because we are into the world of finance. The problem in marketing is if I do huge ads, there are curious people who would look at it and they'll say, no, this is not what you should be at. Therefore, the best part is do it for free. Prove it to people that I'm doing in front of you. I don't know what is going to happen. The moment I say buy or sell, no one knows whether the stock is going to move up or down. So it's fully transparent. And if people make money, they're going to pass this knowledge to others. This is one company where things are transparent. And the best part is our after-sales service. We are the only company again where the support staff runs from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 in the midnight throughout. This support is for the software, some software crashes or something of that sort. This kind of support is needed. Along with that, we have a technical expert team sitting there. So sometimes, a person has a buy position and his computer crashes or there's a power cut or something of that sort and he is left in the dark. Then he can call up and talk to our technical experts that my position is open and then please guide me as to when to exit. And that is exactly guided by our technical expert team. So this after sales service and all these things come together as a package for the investor where he feels comfortable with the name Precision.
I think it's an interesting thought process. At the end of the day, you're looking at an organization that markets itself, right? Without doing any media, stuff like that in the first place. They build upon their credibility in terms of what they really offer. On top of it, as an organization, like you said, you invest and put in great customer service parameters in place. So customers have a pretty good feel of, what is it that you really do. So I think these are some interesting learnings that I think a lot of people sitting in the room could benefit from. I think we've spoken about your product, your business, right, at a brief level. I think it will be nice for the people to really know Kiran as an individual, right? Tell us a little bit about your childhood influences or some of the things that you went through, right, and that brought you towards the journey that you are at now.
Basically, it's an interesting story to tell, why? Because it never happened that I dreamt of stock markets. I was always a football player and I always loved playing football. That I love even today. It so happened that my schooling was done in Loyola at Pashan here itself. Loyola is known for football, so I used to play for my school, then my college, then I ended up playing for the states as well. During this, I finished my 10th, then I finished my 12th. After I finished my 12th, my parents, my father was an engineer. A mediocre family, normal Puneri family, no great visions as such, 9 to 6 job, 6 o'clock my father used to come and we all used to enjoy our evenings. That was the kind of life that we had. So my father always wanted me to become an engineer because he was an engineer. My grandfather was an engineer. So finally the third generation has to become an engineer. That was the expectations that was built up. And I had my passion for football. I wanted to play football for the country actually. So I always was not good in studies. There was a good time that I spent on the field. So I was not good in studies. My father was really worried about it. Somehow I managed to get good percentage in my 12th, but failed to get into the engineering colleges in Pune. So my father said, I have my contacts in Sangli, so we'll go to Sangli and I'll have you admission done there. When we went there, we went to our relatives. This relative was a person who used to conduct that MPSC, UPSC exams. So then he asked me, why do you want to be an engineer? I said, my father wants me to become an engineer. So then he said, no, you should actually be looking at your intelligence, your physical ability, you should be you should give these exams, MPSC. I said, what happens when I give this MPSC, UPSC? And then he told me certain things. And I was really impressed out of that. At the same time, in the interview, I was told that I had to pay 50,000 as donation, which I did not want to pay. So I convinced my father, no, I'll give my MPSC, UPSC exams. And that's the reason why we came back to Pune from Sangli. Came back to Pune. Obviously, I had to I was in the science stream, so the admissions were over in Ferguson, so there's no admission to come to FC. So the only college that gave me admission was Modern College. I entered Modern College. First day in college was chemistry or physics practical, I don't remember. I went to that and I spent 3 hours in that physics or chemistry practical. I said, how the hell am I going to study MPSC, UPSC if I am going to spend 3 hours over here? I went to the principal directly without talking to my parents. And I told them, yes, now I want to enter into the arts faculty. The principal was, yes, why arts suddenly? And I told him that, yeah, my plan is to get into these competitive exams.